Hi, my name's Goblin Holmes, and I like talking about mysteries, specifically spooky mysteries. Greetings, little mortals. I am Goblin Holmes, the realm's foremost detective of dastardly deeds. Tonight we investigate a most spooky mystery, not a ghost in the attic, nor a witch in the wood, but something far more frightening. A political plot cooked up in a far-off land to haunt your very democracy. The game's afoot. So, our tale begins with a simple, shiver-inducing question. Why does old Britain suddenly feel like it's been haunted by an American spectre? The same creepy catchphrases echo in the halls of Parliament. The same culture war cauldrons are bubbling. It's as if a script written in a Texas manner is being performed by puppets in Westminster. But who is the puppet master? And what treats are they offering for this performance? My goblin senses tingled. I began to dig, and what I unearthed was not a buried skeleton, but a shadowy web of gold, power and ideology stretching from the swamps of Washington, D.C. right to the door of number 10. A coven, if you will, designed to make the politically unthinkable spookily inevitable. The first cobweb, the Atlas Ghost and its think tank goblins. Now, to understand this case, you must know a name whispered in dark corners, the Atlas Network. Founded by a fellow named Anthony Fisher, its mission was to litter the world with free market think tanks, and litter it they did. Today, it's a global ghost story with over 500 spooky partner organisations. They are funded by the deepest, darkest vaults of American conservative gold, like the crypts of the Koch brothers. They don't just hand bags of gold to politicians. Oh, no, that's far too simple. That would be like offering a plain apple for Halloween. No, they offer the full-size toffee apple. They provide grants, training, networking to think tanks, the clever little goblins who shape policy, and where does these cursed sweeties end up? Right here in Britain. Think tanks like the Institute of Economic Affairs, the Adam Smith Institute, the Legatum Institute, are all part of this phantom network. They're not just bookish ghosts, they are powerful lobbyists. The IEA, for example, inspired Liz Truss's mini-budget, a plan so terrifying it made the market scream louder than a banshee. But who fills their treat bags? Much of the gold is untraceable, funneled through American entities. It's a system of influence laundering, a ghostly cleaning spell for dirty money. American foundations give to Atlas, Atlas gives to British think tank goblins, who then whisper policies into the ears of politicians. Spooky. But every coven has a master, a lich lord pulling the strings. In this story, that is the Heritage Foundation. This is no ordinary think tank. It's a political vampire with a budget of over $100 million a year. It has long had its fangs in British politics, with friends like Thatcher, Truss and Gove all attending its dark ceremonies. Lately, however, it has become even more monstrous. It is the architect of Project 2025, a 900-page grimoire for a future American presidency, one that is taking place right now. This plan called for purges of the civil service, dismantling government agencies, rolling back rights for, well, anyone who isn't a certain type of white Christian nationalist. And it's all taking place right now. Its leader wants to institutionalise Trumpism, and they are exporting this nightmare fuel to our shores. They are actively bringing US-style culture wars here, creating bogeymen to fight when they have no real treats to offer. Their goal is to reshape society itself into their own grim image. And the British bogeyman, Nigel Farage's Reform UK. Now, every good ghost story needs a local bogeyman to make the threat feel real. In our tale, that bogeyman is Farage's Reform. But who advises the bogeyman? Enter the headless horseman of our story, James Orr. A Cambridge professor by day, but by night a passionate culture warrior. He's tied to the Heritage Crypt and has been called a British Sherpa by American politicians. He's tweeted things like deport the illegals and opposes abortion in all cases. A truly chilling fellow. This October, a most appropriate month, Nigel Farage appointed this headless horseman as a senior advisor to Reform UK. This is the moment the monster reveals itself. The quiet influence of dark money and think tank goblins has found its roaring political monster truck. And the gold? Reform's treasurer was an investor in a fund tied to the same Silicon Valley vampires powering Donald Trump's return. They even accept donations in cryptocurrency. Get it? Cryptocurrency. Oh, never mind. A perfect untraceable currency for creatures of the night. This is the full Trumpification of British politics. When Farage suggests changing the NHS to a French-style insurance system, he's not offering a treat, he's offering an American-style trick that opens the door to a system of corporate profits from your illness, which will only be treated if you're rich enough. For the final riddle, who gets the treat and who gets the trick? We are told we live in a democracy, that our votes are our power. But this investigation reveals a different story, a concerted, well-funded effort to hijack British politics for a foreign agenda. They use dark money to stay in the shadows like true vampires. They use think tanks to put a fancy mask on their radical ideas, a goblin in a scholar's robe. And they use populist politicians to sell their tricks to the public as treats. The connections are as clear as a full moon. American gold from the Atlas Ghost Fund thinks British think tank goblins. These goblins develop policies from the grim grimoires of the heritage crypt. And populist bogeymen, advised by headless horsemen, deliver that agenda to the public. It's a pipeline of cash and extremism, designed to build a permanent right-wing haunted house in Britain, a house that serves its American masters, not the British people. They want to turn Britain into a laboratory for their radical experiments. So this Halloween, the biggest question isn't who is at your door in a scary costume. The question is, will you let these real-life monsters trick you out of your democracy? The game, my dear mortals, is most definitely afoot. Now share this tale before the clock strikes midnight.
When my eyes beheld a most peculiar sight, for a portal ripped from the far right side, and out from the fissure the monsters did glide. They started together a gruesome cabal for a meeting to answer their leader's call. The monsters had gathered for a toxic bash. They called it the Mega Bash. The monsters had gathered for a toxic bash. Much less. He'd promised a bus made of sovereignty gold, a story so spooky for years it was told. Then Putin arrived, shirtless and bare, with a cold steely gaze and 1,000-yard stare. He rode on a bear, through the crypt it did crash. Just another guest at the Mega Bash. The scene was rocking, all were dismayed, when through the wall a new promise was made. And with a great flourish and an orangish glow, who should appear but the dawn, speaking slow. We're gonna have the best caucus. Let me tell you the best. We're gonna build a wall around this graveyard, and the ghosts are gonna pay for it. It's true. Then Stephen Miller slithered out from the dust to ensure the whole party was mean and unjust. He drafted a scroll with a quick, cruel pen to make sure the monsters never let normies in. They were having a ball at the Mega Bash. The party was live, it was a smash. They were having a ball at the Mega Bash. A real right-wing rack attack for a toxic bash. A real right-wing rack attack. From the corner a figure saw his big chance. It was Nigel Farage doing his victory dance. He cried, "Independence, let's break up the band," with a pint in his hand and a flag in the sand. The monsters all mingled a grotesque soiree, complaining on Fox News about the woke card, but their alliance was shaky, a house built on lies, as they all tried to claim the same populist prize. The fangs came out and the claws started slashing. The party was over, their unity crashing. They turned on each other in a monstrous fray, and that's how the Mega Bash faded away. It vanished from the scene with a thunderous crash. The end of the Mega Bash. It vanished from the scene with a thunderous crash. Their spooky pack turned to ash. And now you might think this is all in your head, a bad dream from some underbaked bread. But if you hear a loud populist roar, it's the monsters still fighting there.